So it's the young guy, JT. YTBC's been dry. It's been the same bullshit. Same people hating, using Mayweather name for hits, just making up wild and extreme bullshit. The shit's getting old, man, but no one's really making videos anymore, man. No more post-fight predictions. I mean, I'm waiting, man. I like a lot of you guys' channels, man. I watch pretty much everybody, man, whether I like it or whether I agree with it or not, But anyway, this video is about the so-called boxing historian. The guy who watches a bunch of old shit, constantly is bringing up old shit, and he's like that, the old guy in the hood, the older guy in the hood who, is constantly talking about guys like in the 60s and 70s and shit who was playing in the NBA in the 60s and 70s, saying they're better than the fucking guys who are playing today, like LeBron James and Kevin Durant. That's another video I gotta make, because this guy Mike Sowell, or whatever his name is, older guy, like I said, he is saying that Michael Jordan's era was better than the era we are in today. That's another video, but that's basically the same type of video. Guys who constantly bring up old shit, knowing damn well they did not watch all those fights. You're talking about something you read at a fucking library, or you watched, for example, Henry Armstrong, right? This guy had fucking hundreds of fights. So, and when I hear guys talk about him and Ray Robinson and shit like that, it's like, dude, you did not watch the fucking 180 fucking fights that Henry Armstrong and guys like Ray Robinson and Sam Lake, like, you didn't watch that shit, bruh. So how do you know how good they are? You didn't watch it live. You watched that shit on YouTube. The couple fights they fucking have on YouTube, and you read about it in books. Like, if you didn't see it live, there's a big difference, man. There's a big difference from seeing some shit live or, present shit than talking about something that you fucking read in a magazine about Jack Johnson. Like, watch out, bruh. Just because you read some shit in a book don't mean you know anything about boxing. Okay? That's what this video is fucking about. Like, dude, the history of boxing, yes, we respect it. But like all other sports, I don't see why it would be any different. Athletes change, okay? People change. We are not all eating the same thing that they were eating in the 1920s and 1930s. We're not working out the same. Everything has advanced. Medicine has advanced. Athleticism has advanced. Workouts has advanced. There's a difference, okay? For example, in the NBA, okay, you got a guy like people want to say is one of the best players of all time. You got a guy like Larry Bird, for example. Okay, good shooter, can handle the rock fairly well. For his size, he's like 6'9". Okay, but if you put Larry Bird in the fucking NBA right now, what would he be able to do? What would he do against Kevin Durant? What would he do against Paul George? What would he do against athletes of this caliber? What can he do? You think he's gonna be dominating like he did in the 80s? Or vice versa? What if we put Kevin Durant in the 80s? I mean, I'm thinking Kevin Durant in the 80s or Dirk Nowitzki in the 80s. I'm thinking he's averaging 60, 50 fucking points. Who's going to stop that guy? And there's no difference in boxing. You talking about some old ass shit, bruh. Dude, these boxers today are better athletes. They are more advanced than the fighters of before. Just look at the way they fucking fight. All you could turn on YouTube and you can look at the way Sugar Ray Robinson was fighting and who he was fighting, and you can look at the way Mayweather is fighting, and it's clearly a big difference. Okay, in competition and just in the advancement of the sport. So just because some shit is old, I don't see how you can sit here and say that, oh, that's fucking better just because it's old. I mean, that's just some hating old people shit, bruh. I mean, that's all it is. That's just bitter and old. That's what bitter old people do. They constantly talk about the past and some old shit, but it's not necessarily true. Okay? For example, you take Mayweather. Mayweather's never been beaten. A couple guys you could say came close. I don't think they came close. People say Jose Luis Castillo came close. I think he gave him a tough fight, but I thought he lost the fight clearly. You know, no one's beating the guy. You know, but according to, for example, a guy like blood boxing, he constantly brings up old shit. These guys did this way, that way. I mean, dude, he didn't fight this guy. He didn't fight that guy. But at the end of the day, none of the guys you're talking about will be favored to beat Floyd Mayweather, man. Whether it's Paul Williams, whether it's Margarito, whether it's Berto or Stevie John, I just hear like, dudes, these people are really reaching, and it's just a desperate plea to throw stones on the man, throw stones on the man's name. You know what I mean? That's pretty much it, man. I'm just, you know, a lot of these historians don't really know nothing about boxing, man. They just read some shit in a book. I'm not saying blood boxing, for example. I'm not saying him, per se, but I mean, that don't mean like you know about the sweet science. That doesn't mean you actually know about boxing just because you read some shit at the fucking library, because we know you didn't watch that shit live. You didn't watch all of Muhammad Ali fights and all these fucking fights from the 60s when you're probably 10 years. I mean, unless you're fucking 70 years old. You know what I mean? I mean, how many people in the YTBC is 60, 70 years old? You know? Do your research. Like, dude. No, bruh. I mean, that's basically all I got, man. I mean, just because you're a historian of boxing don't mean you fucking know everything. And don't make everything you say is true just because you read some shit in a magazine. Like, dude. You know? I mean, for example, me personally, at middleweight, I got Triple G against all the motherfuckers, man. To be honest, dude. I mean, that dude, nobody fucking with that boy at middleweight, dude. But that's just me. I mean, I think probably like a Roy Jones will probably beat him, because of his athleticism, maybe. But, dude, the way that dude is hitting and the way he come in, bringing pressure and just nonstop like a machine on guys. I don't care what you say, man. I don't care about no fucking Hagler herds. I got Triple G at middleweight, bruh. But that's my opinion. You could go look back. You could go look at Hagler and all those fucking fights, and you can be the judge on who would beat who in a fight. It's your boy JT. I'm out.